everybody, and welcome to Plaid Stallion's Toy Ventures. My name is Brian, and as you can see, I am on the road again. I am headed off to Canadian Toy Con in Burlington, Ontario, where they had a pretty great show last week. I hadn't intended on going, but a friend of mine reached out, said he was going to be setting up there, and well, that seemed like a good omen to me, and yes, it was well worth the 1 hour drive to check out this show. I picked up a lot of stuff. I also regret not picking up other things. They're going to haunt me. So as always, we'll do a little slideshow of the sights of Canadian Toy Con. And I will follow up with the amazing things I did buy and the things I kind of wish I did buy. Hang tight. So, before I show off my booty or scores, let's talk about what I didn't take home with me, but thought about a lot on the ride home. The first one being this hockey patch, which sounds weird, but let me explain. I overheard my friend Mysterion, who is pictured there, picking that up and talking about it in the room. And I was like, oh man, I just missed something really cool. So he was happy enough to share it with me, and I'm glad. This is a hockey patch for a Clifton Hill establishment called Castle of Dracula, which is very similar to House of Frankenstein. It's a haunted house. I have taken pictures of my children in front of the Castle Dracula since they were like 4. And, now they're adults and we still do it. And wow, I'm sad I missed this, but I was glad to at least see it. I'm glad it went to a friend, and especially a friend who definitely appreciates it the same way I would. These monster records really caught my eye. They were sealed, they were in amazing condition, and just look at that artwork on the covers. I mean, the price was fair, especially when you consider the condition, but I guess I just knew I wasn't the guy for these, because I would want to play these records. That's how I roll. But they're sealed, and it's a whole Schrodinger's cat. Do I do this? Do I not? I'll leave it up to the person who deserves these, but that was really hard to turn down. Now, these aren't toys, but these superhero stamps came out when I was like 6, and it's like the entire world forgot about these, including myself. And whenever I run into this stuff, it gives me pause. Now, I'm not a comic collector. These truly don't really fit in my collection, but I loved these as a kid, and somewhere in my stacks, I do have the DC stamp book if I can find it. This is definitely one of the reasons I go to toy shows, is I saw this thing, and for a brief moment, I was 6 years old and in Wolco and didn't have a care in the world. Just a quick word that issue 11 of Toy Ventures magazine, the magazine based on this channel, is now available. It features articles on the Tonka Steel monsters, Mego superheroes, and much more. A lot of love went into this one. Thanks for considering. So as I said, there was a friend of mine setting up there, and he brought some incredibly neat stuff, and basically that's where I spent my money. The first thing I had to have was this AHI Planet of the Apes Dr. Zaius Little Walker. Just the card condition, it's unpunched. Now, I do have a Galen on a rough card. I think the word would be knackered. So this really, really spoke to me, and I just can't resist it. It was in great condition. I mean, it's unpunched. And the price was just extremely fair for this condition. Also, and this is a weird aside, but I kind of have a low-key obsession with Dr. Zaius. I also have that with, like, Mr. Spock. I always want the Spock or Zaius out of a set. Don't ask me why. I'm not sure why. This next piece hit me like a ton of bricks, mainly because it is something that I totally forgot existed. Mainly because I don't think I've actually ever run into one in person. And what this is, believe it or not, is a Ben Cooper jiggler of Godzilla. You know, Ben Cooper famously got the Godzilla license around the time that the cartoon came out, and they made a big deal out of it, including making this jiggler, which really doesn't look much like Godzilla. I'm going to say that. And that's sort of the charm of this. You know, it says Godzilla King of the Monsters, but you're kind of like, without that tag, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't know who this is. I'm really content with my existing Godzilla collection. It is not a big one, but it has all the stuff I've wanted over the years. But this one just had to make its way into my collection. I just love the story behind it. And if you're interested in knowing more about Ben Cooper jigglers, head on over to the Basement of Horror, Raymond Castile's channel. He just did a really comprehensive video on the Ben Cooper jigglers, particularly the monster ones, that I thought was really great, and you should check it out. One of my favorite things I did pick up is not a toy, and these are these stickers from the Niagara Falls, Clifton Hill House of Frankenstein haunted house. I have a low-key obsession with this place as well ever since I was a kid. It's just an amazing monument if you haven't seen it. There's a roller coaster on the roof now. I rarely see merchandise for House of Frankenstein. I'm constantly looking for it. So this was a really nice thing to find, and Dan threw these in with the purchase, and I'm really grateful for them. I really appreciate these. And finally, my friend Andrew sold me a Mego Comic Action Heroes stand. These are hard to find, and when you do find them, somebody always wants an astronomical price for them, and Andrew's price was way more than fair. And I'm just happy because I need about 5 of these to complete my set, but I honestly haven't been paying attention or looking for them, so it was nice to stumble on one of these and give one of my comic action hero figures a block of cheese to stand in. So there you go, folks. This is my reckless toy show spending episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, what toy would you have picked up from Canadian Toy Con? I'd love to know. You can leave it in the comments here on YouTube, or hit me up at our Facebook group, Pod Stallions. That's it for me this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new to this, please consider hitting like and subscribe. This is what we do every week. If you're not new to this, thanks for watching all the way to the end. That really helps us out. Look for a special episode of Pod Stallions this week, our podcast. Until then, be well, my friends, and talk toys, not other people. Cheers.